Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Loñarvides, and today I am going to talk about my lesson plan, which focuses on introducing the C major scale, specifically the first 5 notes of the scale on their instrument. In this slide, we're going to discuss about the standards addressed for this lesson. And that is number 1, Foundations, Music Literacy. The student describes and analyzes music and musical sound. The student explores fundamental skills appropriate for a developing young musician. The student is expected to B. Describe tonal and rhythmic musical elements using standard terminology such as instrumentation, voicing, intervals, solfege, absolute no-names, rhythmic values, and counting systems. For this lesson, these are the learning objectives. The content objectives consist of the students identifying the first 5 notes of the C major scale on the student's primary instruments. And for the language objectives, the students will show me on paper the first 5 notes of the C major scale, and will justify their answers on the same paper and how they found their answer. The students will also be put in pairs with someone who plays the same instrument, and they will demonstrate each other the fingerings of the first 5 notes to one another. The materials for this lesson are the accent on achievement band book for their specific instrument, paper and pencil to write down the first couple of solfege and justify their answers, and last but not least, their instruments. Now, for the lesson introduction or opening of my lesson, we will discuss our learning objectives that the student will demonstrate by the end of class. We will also do a set of exercises to prevent any damage to their embouchure or their body in general. Now we're going to discuss about the activities during this lesson. My students and I will be singing the first 5 solfege letters of the C major scale as a whole class. Then I will ask a couple of volunteers to sing by themselves. Then I will ask the students to write the first 5 letters of the C major scale up and down. Then they will have to justify how they were able to come up with their answer based on the band book they should have studied for homework from previous lessons. Once finished with their papers, the students will set up their instruments, and I will pair them with a partner who plays the same instrument. And now they will have a show and tell of the first 5 fingerings of the C major scale on their instruments as I walk around to ensure everyone is doing their part. After a couple of minutes, I will have several volunteers demonstrate to the whole class how they play the music scale on their instruments, and could perhaps receive a small reward for their effort to play in front of their classmates. Once we finish playing for the whole class, I will now demonstrate how one is able to use the first 5 notes of the C major scale to create their own melodies. And last but not least, we have the closing section of my lesson plan. I will now have a Q&A in order to address any concerns that my students may have towards the end of the class. And for homework, my students will be assigned to create their own melody with the first 5 notes of the C major scale like I demonstrated earlier to them, which they will bring the next time we meet for class, and each student will play the melody they created for the whole class for a grade. And that's it. This is the end of my lesson plan presentation. I hope you enjoy watching, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Bye!